When you walk into a room or step up to speak, the first impression you make isn't just about what you say. It's about how you say it. Speaking with calm, confident clarity instantly changes how others perceive you. It sends a signal that you know who you are, you're in control of yourself, and you're someone worth listening to. People naturally gravitate toward those who exude certainty without arrogance, and the voice is one of the most powerful tools to communicate that. Start with your tone, lowering your voice just slightly, not to a mumble, but to a grounded, steady tone, makes people lean in. It's not about being loud or aggressive. In fact, raising your voice too much can come off as insecure or defensive. But when your voice is calm and deliberate, people are drawn in because it suggests you're not rushed, you're not trying too hard, you're simply sure of yourself. That sense of ease is magnetic. Clarity matters just as much. This means eliminating filler words like like, and you know. It also means not trailing off at the end of your sentences or turning statements into questions. Instead, finish your thoughts cleanly and confidently. Speak as if every word matters because it does. People won't respect your words if it sounds like you don't respect them yourself. It's okay to pause between thoughts. In fact, silence can be more powerful than noise. A well-placed pause gives people time to process, and it shows you're thoughtful and in control, not just rushing to fill space. But beyond tone and clarity, there's something deeper. Your inner state. You can only speak with true confidence when you're not afraid of judgment. When you're okay with silence, with disagreement, even with not being liked by everyone in the room, that's when your voice becomes steady and grounded. Respect often follows that energy. People sense when you're not trying to win approval, but instead offering your presence fully and without apology. That's what makes people take notice. That's what makes them listen. All of this ties into how you carry yourself overall. When you speak clearly and calmly, you reinforce the boundaries you've set. You command your physical space naturally, and you show that you're thoughtful in how you engage with others. It aligns with everything else that earns respect: how you listen, how you stand firm, and how you act when no one is watching. It starts with your voice, but it extends far beyond it. If you can master this, even in small ways, people will begin to treat you differently because they'll see that you treat yourself with respect first. Respect doesn't come from pleasing everyone or saying yes to every request. It comes from knowing where your line is and standing by it. Setting boundaries without apology is one of the clearest signs that you value yourself, and people recognize that instantly. In fact, the moment you stop over-explaining, over-justifying, or feeling guilty for protecting your time, energy, and values, people start treating you differently. They may not always like it, but they will respect it. Too often, we hesitate to draw lines because we fear conflict or disappointing others. But here's the truth. People respect those who are consistent and clear. When you say no firmly and calmly, without a nervous laugh or a string of excuses, you're sending a message. You're saying, I know what I need and I honor it. That doesn't make you selfish. It makes you grounded. And grounded people are respected not because they control others, but because they control themselves. Boundaries also teach people how to treat you. If you answer work emails at midnight, say yes to every favor, or tolerate constant interruptions, you're silently telling people that your time isn't valuable. But the moment you begin to communicate your limits, and more importantly, stick to them, you shift that narrative. People begin to realize they can't just take from you. You're not aggressive, you're just self-respecting. And that subtle difference changes everything. You don't need to be dramatic or harsh about it. A boundary can be as simple as saying, I'm not available after 6 p.m., but I'll get back to you in the morning. Or I'm not comfortable with that, let's try something else. These aren't confrontational statements. They're calm, direct expressions of self-respect, and when you say them without flinching or backing down, people sense your strength. Not the loud kind of strength, but the quiet, undeniable kind that doesn't need validation. This kind of communication also affects how you carry yourself physically. The same confidence that shows in your voice shows in your posture. When your words are aligned with your body language and your actions, people notice. You're not just saying you have boundaries, you're living them, and that consistency earns a level of trust and admiration that no amount of people-pleasing ever could. Respect isn't given freely. It's earned through how you show up, speak, and stand your ground. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're filters to let the right energy in. They're a reflection of how deeply you understand your own worth. When you stop apologizing for prioritizing yourself, people don't just listen, they take you seriously. And when your boundaries are clear, your voice calm, and your presence firm, the rest falls into place. Before you even open your mouth, people start making judgments consciously or not, based on how you carry yourself. That's why owning your space and posture is such a powerful way to earn immediate respect. You don't need to be physically imposing or dramatically different. What matters is how you present your body, your stillness, and your presence. The people who command respect the fastest are often the ones who say the least, but carry themselves with the most certainty. When you walk into a room with your shoulders back, head held high, and movements that are deliberate, not rushed or nervous, you send a strong signal, I belong here. And the thing is, people tend to believe what you believe about yourself. If you shrink into corners, avoid eye contact, fidget with your hands, or shift your weight constantly, you're unintentionally signaling insecurity. But if you take up space naturally, without trying to dominate, just standing or sitting with quiet confidence, people feel that energy. It makes them pause, it makes them pay attention. There's a science to this too. Your posture affects your psychology. When you stand tall, you feel more certain. When you slouch, your brain interprets that as weakness or hesitation. So it's not just about how others see you, it's about how you begin to see yourself. A straight spine, a still hand, a calm presence. These things create a ripple effect. They ground you internally, and that internal grounding shows up in how you interact with the world. Part of owning your space is also about slowing down. People who move with calm intention are seen as powerful. Whether you're walking into a meeting, shaking someone's hand, or simply sitting in a chair, the lack of rush signals comfort with yourself. You're not reacting, you're choosing, and that sense of control draws others in. It mirrors the calm clarity of your speech and the strength behind your boundaries. These aren't isolated habits, they work together to create a complete, commanding presence. Even the smallest things count. Making eye contact, not aggressively, but consistently shows that you're engaged and unafraid. Keeping your hands visible and relaxed communicates openness without weakness. And staying still while others fidget gives you a psychological edge. Stillness suggests stability. In a world full of noise, stillness becomes a form of quiet power. And remember, none of this is about pretending. It's not about copying body language tricks to manipulate people. It's about aligning how you feel inside with how you show up outside. When you truly believe you're enough, that you deserve respect, your body will reflect it. And when that happens, when your voice, your boundaries, and your presence all say the same thing, people don't just notice. They respond because the way you stand tells the world how to treat you. One of the most underrated ways to earn respect, often instantly, is by how you listen. It's not about nodding politely or waiting for your turn to talk. It's about listening with full presence, without interrupting, judging, or preparing a reply in your head while someone else is speaking. When you truly listen with intent, people feel it, and in a world where everyone is trying to be heard, being the one who listens stands out like a quiet strength. Most people think respect is earned through speaking well, clear tone, strong posture, firm boundaries, and that's true. But the full picture includes how well you receive others. When someone is talking and you're fully focused, looking at them, not distracted or glancing at your phone, it sends a deep message: you matter, I value what you're saying. And paradoxically, when you give that kind of respect to others, they give it back to you. It's human nature. But listening isn't passive. It's not just about silence. It's about engagement. A simple, tell me more about that, or what made you feel that way, shows you're paying attention. When you repeat back what someone said, not robotically, but in your own words, it shows you truly heard them. That level of attentiveness builds trust, and trust very quickly becomes respect. The key is to listen without trying to prove anything. Don't listen to respond. Don't listen to fix. Just listen to understand. When someone says something, don't immediately jump in with your opinion, even if you disagree. Let there be a pause. Sit with their words. When you do speak, ask questions that dig deeper rather than trying to steer the conversation toward your own experience. People respect those who make them feel seen, and being truly listened to is one of the rarest forms of being seen. This kind of listening also shows emotional control. It shows that you're not reactive or defensive. If someone is venting or expressing frustration, and you remain calm and centered, that steadiness earns massive respect. It tells people, I'm not easily rattled. I'm present. It aligns with the way you speak with clarity, set boundaries, and carry yourself physically. It's all connected. Listening well also helps you better read people, their intentions, their values, their insecurities. When you're not in a rush to respond, you pick up more. And that awareness makes your responses more thoughtful, your decisions more grounded. You become the kind of person people naturally turn to, because you make them feel safe, heard, and understood. In the end, respect isn't always about being the loudest voice in the room. Sometimes, it's about being the quietest one who hears what others miss. Respect is most powerfully earned not through big performances, but through consistent action, especially when no one's watching. Acting with integrity, even when it's inconvenient, speaks louder than any speech, posture, or polished words ever could. It's easy to be admirable when things are easy, but when doing the right thing costs you something, time, comfort, approval, and you still choose it, people notice. And they remember, integrity isn't a dramatic act. It's the quiet choice to keep a promise, even if it's small. It's speaking the truth gently but firmly, even when silence would be easier. It's refusing to gossip when others do, returning the extra change when the cashier makes a mistake, standing up for someone when no one else will. These aren't grand gestures, but they reveal your character, and character commands respect more deeply than charm ever will. What makes this so powerful is that integrity aligns your words, actions, and values. People don't have to second, guess who you are or what you stand for, because you live it. That kind of consistency builds trust. When people see that your behavior doesn't shift based on who's watching or what you might gain, they start to trust your presence. They listen to your words more carefully. They treat you with a level of seriousness that can't be forced, it has to be earned. The truth is, people are always watching, even when you think they're not. How you treat the waiter, how you speak about someone who isn't in the room, how you handle stress, failure, or criticism. These moments define you far more than the ones where you're trying to impress. And when your actions reflect strength, honesty, and responsibility in those small, unguarded moments, it reinforces everything else: your calm voice, your firm boundaries, your grounded presence, and your thoughtful listening. Living with integrity also affects how you see yourself. When your actions match your values, your confidence grows naturally. You don't have to fake strength because you've built it, and that inner alignment shows on the outside. Your voice becomes steadier, your posture firmer, your presence calmer, not because you're performing, but because you're solid. And solid people are respected immediately, and let's be clear, living with integrity isn't about being perfect. Everyone slips. What matters is owning it, correcting course, and staying honest about who you are and what you're working toward. That humility is part of integrity too. It shows maturity and self-awareness. It makes people feel safe around you because they know you're not pretending, you're real. At the end of the day, respect isn't earned by demanding it. It's earned by embodying it. When your words are honest, your choices are principled, and your presence is consistent, people don't just respect you, they trust you. And trust is the foundation of lasting respect.